Woo! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of TSG Masterclass. I can see a couple of you here. Thank you, Glory. Nice to see you. Antonia, nice to see you. I'm seeing a couple of returnees. Our TSG Masterclass will be holding um, every quarter, once every quarter, because of the heavy nature of the content that is in print, right? Okay, so if you can hear me, please indicate with a comment and say, yes, I can hear you. Just indicate with I can hear you so that I can proceed. Tonight, we are not wasting any form of time. We aren't waiting for anybody. We just go straight to what we have. So if you can hear me, please comment. Say, I can hear you in the comment. I need to see it from people. Okay, you can hear me loud and clear. So fantastic. Welcome to another edition. Mr. Thomas, my guy at the top, I can see you. Chris will be magnified. Oh, Christ will be magnified. Oh, fantastic. Proud Joe, Precious, I can hear you. Osei here is here. All right, let's move ahead with what we have today. Father Lord, we thank you for this priceless moment. Have your way in our midst and let everything be to your glory. Transform lives that are hearing and let's have the courage to put into practice what we are going to learn tonight and even ever after. So once again, good evening, everybody. Depending on where you're watching, let me just say good day. I know some people are watching from a different time zone. So welcome on board. Who can tell me what we are looking at today? What is the topic we are looking at today? There may be gifts to be given out today. Who can tell me what are we looking at today? What's the topic we are looking at today? Anybody? Write it in the comment. I want to see it. Let me be sure that you know what we are here for. I know if it's TSG, you want to come and learn, no matter what it is that TSG is doing. But tell me what it is that we're here. Okay. Glory said the top 1% agenda. Okay. Top 1%. I know some people will copy. Top 1% agenda. I think the most participating person in today's session, I'm likely to see if I could do something for that person, excluding the value that the person is going to get here today. All right, so yes, today we are looking at the top 1% agenda. I want to start by saying that I am very much aware that not everybody wants to be among the top 1%. Some people think that the top 1% is unnecessarily too hard. Others think that they are okay, even if they have to be in the top 100%. And plenty thoughts here and there. But I also want to say I don't have any problem with those who are not willing to be part of that top 1%. And I want to also say that the things we'll be sharing here today, they are not going to be very palatable. Some of them will, I don't know how many of you that saw my post where I made it that what we are sharing here today may be, in other ways, unfriendly, right? Very unfriendly. So stay with me as the secret code for industry dominance. Fantastic. Who is this person? Hope man. The names I'm seeing here, that name doesn't look Nigerian in nature. But you're always welcome anyways. Okay. Top 1%. The topic is what separates the top 1% from everyone else. Fantastic. I am most happy that the people that are here are aware of what they are here for, and I'm going to do justice to it. Trust me, like at the end of this session, you are going to go home with a lot of thought-provoking processes, and at the end of the day, you will be amazed So I'm just trying to buy maybe once 30 seconds so that, because I know the live session like this, there is no opportunity for you to go live, or maybe, sorry, repost what you have said, or re-say what you have said, so that those that come late will see it. But here I am. Welcome on board. My name is Udo Chukwuchikwendo. For many of you that know me, I know you know me as the sales guru. Today, I'm not teaching sales and marketing per se, but I'm teaching the codes of life. The code that, because sometimes I think someone has told me before, he said, please just make me, I want to be like the next sales guru. And I just laughed my head off. Like, you can't be like the next sales guru unless you are willing to spend a lot of time with the sales guru until you can decode what exactly makes him who he is. So today I want to give you a little bit of some of those secrets that I've found over the years. Somebody even reached out to me and said, "Oh, you're enjoying so much speed in your industry. What are you doing?" So tonight, oh, I can see Isaac, my guy from OSB 8.0. Nice to have you here. Welcome on board. So let me share a little bit of those things that I've been keeping secret, right? That's something that happens to me, and somehow even me, I don't know why I do this thing sometimes, because I just get an insight that have transformed my life, and I think the next thing I'm thinking of is, how can you share this thing with your community? How can you share this thing with your community? And yes, I believe so well that my reward is in heaven, because nobody is paying me to do what I'm doing tonight. And even if you're to pay me, it's going to be big money. But whom the Lord has blessed, who can curse him? Proud Joe, okay. OSB 10.0, okay. That means I'm seeing my alumni here. Okay, straight up to what we have tonight. The top 1% agenda. The first question is, what does it mean to be in the top 1%? Number one, it is to have the kind of knowledge that the top 1% has. It is to have the kind of results that the top 1% has. It is to live the kind of lifestyle that the top 1% lives. In all this thing, you must always localize it per time, right? First, is there a possibility to be in the top 1%? I'll leave you to answer that question at the end of today's session. How many people want to be in the top 1%? It is still your choice at the end of this session. What separates the top 1% from other categories? Knowledge. If you ask me, that's the principal thing. They don't work harder. They don't have more time. They don't have nothingness. The only thing that separates them is knowledge. And today we are going to be looking at tapping into a little bit of those kind of knowledge that makes them what they are. Hope, I can see you say, God bless you, mentor. Thanks for taking our time to share from your wealth of knowledge. Thank you. So this is the content we'll be running through today. Introduction, I'll do a lot of introduction, which is where I'll kickstart. Now, I will reveal what I call the agenda. Remember, okay, yes, I'll review what I call the agenda. Then the second thing I'll do is to review what I call the back-end effect. And I'm saying this for those of you that are reading. And under the back-end effect, I'll be sharing two principles. The first one, I call it the principle of presupposition. You'll be hearing some words today that you probably have not heard before. You can use ChatGPT or use dictionary to help you. And anyone you cannot catch up along the line, maybe if my team permits me, we will share the replay for this live session. If they don't permit me, you wait for another day. So we'll be sharing the principle of presupposition and then the principle of precursor. That's what is called the principle of presupposition and what is called the principle of precursor. After that, I'll be sharing the mirror effect Under the mirror effect, I'll also look at, yes, after the mirror effect, we'll be looking at purpose discovery. Is there anything really like purpose discovery, right? We'll look at it. And then I'll look at what I call the spiritual inclination. Do you need to be spiritual before you can get to the top 1%? What does it even mean to be spiritual? Is it the same thing as religion? And after the spiritual inclination, we'll look at what I call current attenuation. Like I said, some of you be hearing words that you haven't heard before. Probably, right? What attenuates current? What weakens the flow of current in a body or in a person? That we'll be looking at today. After that, I will close it with what I call the principle of specialization and the concept of burial as against planting. These 5 to 6 things are what we are looking out for in the next 1 hour or 2 hours, as the case may be. It's going to be a very deep conversation. At any point where you think you need to raise a question, I'm looking through the comments to make sure that I catch up with everybody, because it's definitely not going to be a one-way stuff. Drop your question and we'll go. So let's go straight to my introduction. The World Health Organization estimates that 1 in 6 of every adult experiences infertility at some point in their life. So 1 in every 6 adults experiences infertility. Meanwhile, I hope you guys like my hat, right? It rhymed with what I'm wearing. So I'm looking like, I think it's Kanayo or Kanayo this night. Yes, because you're about to perform a lot of sacrifices, right? So 1 in 6 of every adult experience infertility at every point in their lives. Don't worry, you understand why I'm going through this route. And approximately 23 million miscarriages occur worldwide every year. So each year we have 23 million miscarriages documented, because the undocumented miscarriages is far more than what is being documented. So for statistics backup, World Bank report that 23 million miscarriages happen every year. And if you break it down, we further went on to say that there are 44 pregnancy losses every minute of the day. That every minute in a day we have 44 pregnancy losses. He went ahead to go further that 15% of all recognized pregnancies end up in miscarriage. 15% of all pregnancies end up in miscarriage. Why are all these statistics important? I want you to look through it, that if we have 23 million miscarriages, not abortions, and not all that is not documented, because I'm certain that there are those that are not documented. 23 million miscarriages annually. And 15% of all known pregnancies end up in miscarriage. And each minute we have 44 miscarriages. It's safe for us to say that to give birth is not easy. For somebody to be born, no be beans. It's not a child's play. It's also safe to say that the struggle to enter the earth starts even before the person is born. All of us that finally made it into the earth came here because we passed through lots of hurdles. We beat the 23 million miscarriages that happened annually. We beat the 44 miscarriages that happen every month. We're not talking of those that they gave birth, those that they took in, the conception happened, but there was stillbirth. Not those that died in the belly, but miscarriage. Not those that were born and they died after 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 6 months. I know my mother told me something when I was growing. He said, be careful with your life. Oh. He said, because if you die and go to the land of the dead and you didn't see somebody that you are older than, he said, you are free to come back. So life on its own is not really as casual as we think. That means for somebody to be born, it's not easy. We are not talking of those who are impotent, in quote. If you go to women's hospital, if you have opportunity of talking to a gynecologist, especially a consultant gynecologist, you are going to hear things that will make your ear to tingle. There are places they call prayer houses where they pray for women looking for the fruit of the womb. If you have been opportune to go there and see women crying, you will understand that to be born is not a child's play. I love what Williams is saying. He said, I escaped 15% of miscarriages. I'm part of the 85% that made it here. Yes, I'm happy I escaped it. All of us listening to me escaped it. But that should give you an understanding of how precious your life is. Why did you escape it? Why were you not among those who were flushed away? And I'm not speaking just statistics. I've been opportuned. Not opportuned. It's not something we all plan, but miscarriage is something that has also happened to me, my family. I know how hurtful it is. Sometimes we now think that, okay, somehow we say, just because you married, just 1 month it happened. In fact, I met a man who was telling me that, he didn't want to give birth now that his wife just took him for the 3rd time, that he just wanted to and I looked at him. I said, do you know those that have been married for the past 10 years, 15 years, and they've not had the opportunity to give birth to a child? And here you are, complaining. Do you know how many number of sex that is unprotected sex that is hard, that is engaged in every single day? When you are walking on the road and you are seeing crowd, those are implications of sex, especially sex that turned into pregnancies and childbirth. So because you just did your own once, you now felt like, this thing, pregnancy, you now want. That's why, no matter the situation or circumstance you find yourself, don't commit abortion. Don't commit abortion. And there is no child that is a bastard. Some of you understand why I'm going through this route. Because, like I said, one of those things that separate the top 1% from ordinary people is that they have what I call back-end information. They have back-end information. So if you and I are in this world, consider yourself a special species of the human species. If you are still alive today, you escaped that 23 million people documented miscarriages. You escaped the how many millions of child death, rather, and you are here today. Consider yourself a specialized breed of this human species. That's the first thing we want to do. So let's look at the first one, the agenda. We look at the principle of presupposition. Before we do that, let's do a little brain teaser. I want to get responses from you on the comment. Who is responsible for the success of man on earth? God or man? Who Who is responsible for the success of man on earth? Is it God or is it man? Chibeze wrong. Yes, I'm special. Thank God for me. Oh yeah. I'm such a peculiar species. I have this knowledge for quite a long time. I knew I was not just ordinary. Man, everybody, I think I'm teaching in some intelligent set of people here. Man is responsible for his success on the face of the earth. Okay, Christ will be magnified. Oh, his name shows otherwise. It says both. Okay, both. Man, because we are all born with a divine blueprint. Fantastic insight. Woo! I think I love that. Thank you. Proud Joe. But why are you proud? Okay, man. Let's look at, when we are looking at this thing, whether God is involved. I believe both, sir. God has all blessings in his hand, and that he will release for man, but the man has to raise his hand to receive it. Man is responsible for his success. Actually, nobody can receive anything except giving from above. Fantastic. Omoni Oladayo, thank you. Again, forgive if I say, please, what I need from you tonight is have the boldness and the courage to listen to something that is unconventional and still maintain. Whether you agree with it or not, just absorb it. The best you can do is to say, okay, no, I don't tire to hear for this kind of thing. I let you live. So, and some of the, if I make any Bible references here, because I know we have both Muslims here, and probably those who are traditional worshippers, if we have any of them here, please, if I make any Bible reference, it's strictly for learning purposes. So when we talk about responsibility, it's not about who is giving it. Okay. The billionaire teacher. Okay, fantastic. Nancy Matawal said God. So we want to look at the principle of presupposition, right? You can go and look it in the dictionary later. I don't know if it's in the dictionary anyways, and say, what is presupposition? Pre. You know, there is pre, there is during, and there is post, right? So we are looking at the principle of presupposition. Where does man come from? From a little bit of knowledge that we have. Let's look at what we are looking at. I want those of us that have Bible, we'll look at Genesis chapter 1, right? I'll read it here on my screen. We are looking at, again, it's for learning's sake. We're looking at verse 26 to maybe 27. But then let's look at verse 26. Those of us that did at least early Bible study or the study of creation, we were made to understand that God created other things, right? Before he created man. God created the water, God created the land, he divided it, God created the different animals, he created the whole vegetables that we eat, and we use it to do medications, we use it to do everything. You now see that God created all of them. Finally, before he created man, right? And in that Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, it says, then God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock, animals, chicken, goat meat, turkey, and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Let me read it again. And God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Verse 27 said, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. Excuse me, he created them. 28 said, God blessed them. Listen, oh. Listen, oh. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth, subdue it, rule over the fishes in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. This was the mandate that God gave man. Rule. And every single thing that he wanted you to use to rule, he made it when he said, let's make man in our own image. God cannot tell you to go and be in charge of over the forest, over the trees, over every single thing that is on the face of the earth, if he has not put anything inside of you that will enable you to do it. Sometimes, what image do we have of God? Do we think he's somebody that Blessing Ukpong is praying for in somewhere in Abakaliki, and Blessing is saying, oh God, I need a car, give me a car, and God teleports himself to answer Blessing, and then I'm here praying, God, I need $1 billion, and God teleports himself and come here to give me $1 billion, and someone in my village is praying, God, I want all my enemies to die, and God teleports himself to my village and say, who is that your enemy? I press his neck. God is God, not human. That imaginations we have is rubbish. And somehow, I will never serve a God who created everybody and then decided to bless some and not bless some. We are going to the same church. We are going to the same mosque. I take my prayer seriously. God one day woke up and said, I think I like TSG more than this guy. Angel, go and give him blessing. Leave this guy, leave him for the next 2 months. That God is not worth serving, because one of the key characteristics of God is equity and fairness. It is human beings that are not fair. This means that, listen. Before you were created, and even from the point of creation, every single thing that you needed to be relevant in life was brought from factory fit. You were factory fitted for success. Oh, I don't know if you are getting this thing. You came fully formed. Somebody says a combined effort. God has finished doing his work. It doesn't matter how inconvenient it sounds or whatever. God has done his work. God has done his work in man. Bible students has come. But he said, I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy. I like it. Annette, tell us. Who are those that God show mercy? Let's know now. So when God says, I will show mercy to who I will show mercy, at what stage was he saying that? When has he said that? Especially to those of us that are Christians, God has said this. Jesus has come. Jesus has finished the work. Jesus has resurrected. Jesus has ascended. Yet, sometimes Why do you think we have manual? God is not associated with anything physical in terms of giving it to the man. Why do you think that is those people who claim that they don't believe in God that are ruling the earth? Does it mean that your Christ or your God has limitations to how much he can give you? Why is it that the prayers you have been praying for the past few years, God has not answered? Is it that God himself is wicked? When the Bible says Paul planted, Apollos water, but God gave the increase. God has already given the increase. You are not. It's not like when you plant and the other person water, God will not. No. The blessing has come. I like how somebody described it. Somebody said it's a fixed match. What's that? There's one. I think it's Victor said it's already made. Already made. Already made. Already made. We came already made. Let me give you a very classical illustration. Is there anybody here that is married that has a baby, maybe a man or a woman? I want to show you something that is likely to blow your mind. Anybody? Someone here? Okay, I always give you this example, and please pay attention. Okay, let me give you an example. Should I use myself? Yes, maybe. But I like using women because it paints the picture faster. Right, paints the picture fact. Okay, let's say Annette is a woman who is married, who has a baby. Do you know that by the time that Annette was 2 months old, 2 months, please follow my thought pattern. It may be a little bit difficult, but do you know that the time that, okay, Omoni, you're a man, the time that Annette was 2 months old, I mean 2 months, when she was still like blood, 2 months is 2 months, 2 weeks, when she was still just like blood. Do you know that Annette was already a mother at the age of 2 weeks? Who believes me or who wants to disagree? Do you know that at the age of 2 weeks, 2 weeks old, in fact, 2 days old, in fact, 2 minutes old, do you know that when she was born, that day she was born, that she was already a mother? Thank you. Why? There is no amount of, Annette does not need prayer to become a mother. She just needs to feed herself. You eat, you grow, you develop all the whole thing that looks like, you see a woman, oh, she has big boobs, she's looking like this, look, all those things, they were all there from the time this person was 2 months, 2 days, 2 minutes old. That means every single thing she needed to function like a woman was hidden in the body of an infant girl. Oh my God. It means that she didn't need to pray again that, oh God, make me a woman. No, whatever she needed was already inside the man. Listen, God did not give men furniture. God gave them trees. God did not ride aeroplane. God did not ride cars. God did not use ring light. God did not use mobile phone. I'm just talking for those of you that has an image of God as the one that existed then. Oh, somebody said it say, just like an egg is already a hen, just waiting for time to come to its fullness. Please clap for this man. But if, God forbid, this small baby girl that was born, at age 2 months, her mother carried her and threw her into the ocean, she would not fulfill that purpose of becoming a woman, even though that she was born with everything that it needed to be a woman, but because of the person that raised her did not succeed, she ended. But from the beginning, she was created with all that is needed to be a woman. Nobody was born poor. Another table that I've shattered. I think I have an enlightened audience tonight. Mamunyawa, I think this is not in Nigeria. He said I understood, sir. Yes, that's Proverbs chapter 25, verse 2. It says, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter and the honor of kings to search it out. Don't worry, we'll do a little bit of both Bible study here and scientific proofs, right? If you read Deuteronomy 29, verse 29, the Bible says that those things that are concealed, say that they belong to God. He said, but the things that are revealed, say they belong to us and our children forever. And God is anti-emotional. It doesn't move by how much you are suffering or how much you have cried in the night. God is moved by his principles, his word. That's why sometimes I feel terrible for some Christians because they read the Bible as if it was a religious book. The Bible is never a religious book. It's a book of life principles. Life principles. So God, as much as he loves you, is not responsible for your life. Did you not see that Jesus had the power to denounce the cross? Did you not see that he had the power to say, no, I not do again? He had the power. Did you not see, if you study your Bible, that it was even written that God took away his eyes from God, Jesus, and abandoned his only begotten son? Because he was born for that. He was born to carry the cross. And he needed to fulfill it. You know, especially in this part of the world, whatsoever we don't understand, we ascribe it to God. And let me tell you, some of you think God is not angry when you understand. That's why he said in Deuteronomy 29 that those things that are revealed, they belong to you and your children's children forever. If they are not revealed, you look like, oh, it's God. It belongs to God. That means sometimes God is just holding some information on our behalf until you find them. Nobody is born poor. Poverty is learned. The same way riches are learned. And why this may sound a little bit discomforting, because some of us, we know where we are coming from, right? We know we suffered. You know, I think it was 2 days ago, who was I sharing this stuff with? How a particular night, there was no food in my house, and my mom was like almost crying that night. May God bless her soul where she is. And she was just crying that night. Nothing. So what she just did was just to bring a cup of water, this stainless cup that has hand we used to use then, brought a cup of water and then looked for 1 cube of sugar so that it doesn't just look like ordinary water, right? So it just put a cube of water, a cube of sugar inside so that the taste can change a little bit from ordinary water, and then he gave it to me to do. So when I'm talking this thing, don't say because you have some privileges. You never say. See, I married one time. My wife was not talking about when I start sharing to my wife about all these things. She was like, "Hey, what? I don't know what electricity looked like until I was maybe 16, 17 or something like that, right?" So we know where we are coming from. However, even if I ended up not encountering some diverse knowledge that transformed my life, if I ended up dying poor, it doesn't mean that I was born poor. Because every single thing I needed to become successful, to be rich, was already in me from the point of birth. That's what I want you to understand. Every poor man is an untrained rich man. Every poor man is an untrained rich man. Is there always a rich? That's why, since I found out this reality about life, I am very careful how I treat people. Because I never again treat people based on the level they're operating part time. And even when I see somebody who is poor, I feel bad because he's just a rich man that refused training. Nothing happens to a poor man except his brain. Nothing happens to a poor man except his brain. If he is willing to pay the price of undergoing brain rewiring and reconstruction, he will be successful. So poverty is never a genetic thing. Poverty is never genetically transmitted. Poverty is never genetically transmitted. Am I talking to very rich people here? When I say it's uncomfortable. Some people say, "Sir, you don't know as I am now. I don't even have money. This data that I'm using to listen to you, I borrowed it from MTN." And so what? We are never our circumstances. We are never our circumstances. We are our identity. Get that? We are never our circumstances. We are our identity, irrespective of the prevailing circumstance. We are our identity, irrespective of our prevailing circumstance. Which is why the number one thing you need to do is a proper understanding of the identity. We are never our circumstances. We are our identity. That's why you must sit down. Sit down. Find out your skills. Find out your competencies. Find out your inclination. Find out your journey. Do a little bit of mathematical analysis of the journey you have been through, so you will find something along the line to align. Your identity is all that matters. We are never our circumstances, irrespective of how good or bad it is. We are never our circumstances. We are our identity, irrespective of the prevailing circumstances. That's the principle of presupposition. It was there. I always tell people, okay, let's do a little mathematics. If you think you were born poor, how much will you have? And you now say you are no longer poor. If you think it's 1 million, that means poverty is worth 1 million. If you think it's 5 million, when you have 5 million, that means poverty is worth 5 million. That means I can buy poverty with 5 million. But that's why if you give a poor man 100 million naira, come back to him in the next 5 years, the 100 million naira will not be there. But give a rich man 5 million naira, in the next 5 years, he's likely to turn that 5 million naira into 50 million. What's the difference? identity, orientation. God doesn't pity anyone, rather he shows us mercy. The mercy that God shows us has been shown even from birth. I want you guys to understand that thing. I want you guys to understand that thing. Oh, when we write exam, they will say, Lord, thank you. At least God's mercy. Okay, thank you. Let's go further. I don't know if we're getting inside tonight. I wanted this class to end like 1 hour, but let's move. The next principle I want to share with you is what I call the principle of precursor. Those of you that are biology students, you understand what precursor means. When I was in my first year in the university, I was learning a course called GST 110, if I'm not mistaken. It was philosophy, principles of philosophy. Our lecturer came into the class one day and he used, I don't know if it's Greek, I think it's Greek, yes, to define philosophy. And that definition never left my head. He said, I think the way he said, hi, yes, let me remember. This thing don't come off of my head. He said, Scientia rerum par optimas causius. Any Greek person here will know. Scientia rerum par optimas causius. What that's translated in English means that science is the study of the immediate cause, but philosophy is the study of the ultimate cause. That means there is an immediate cause and there is an ultimate cause. Immediate cause is what happened. Ultimate cause is why did it happen? Oh, I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Thank you. Mewanyiri. Okay, I think I get the name now. Mewanyiri, thank you. Someone said you have made it. You're already great. The world just hasn't seen it. And the comfort zone has a reward. Poverty. I'm receiving value, sir. Thank you. Fantastic. I'm happy you are winning. Now, let me say it again. The immediate cause said what happened or what is happening. The ultimate cause wants to know why did it happen or why is it happening? You will see that these two approaches to life is what differentiates us. Because when you want to find out why, you go deeper. When you want to find out what is happening, is on the surface. And poor people don't like to be inconvenienced with informations that will first of all hold them captive, because when you find knowledge that is capable of transforming you, the first thing it does is to hold you captive. See my belly getting bigger, not proud of it. Because I looked at my fellow billionaires across the world and they don't have pot belly. And I've spoken to this pot belly that it has nothing to do with me, right? But I know what to do to make this belly go flat in 90 days. I know what to do. I know what to do. I tell you, I know what to do. You know why? The only reason why I've not done it now is because it's not on my priority list. Poor people, success is not on their priority list. Success is not on the priority list of poor people. So if you want to be among the top 1% in any industry, always learn to find out the ultimate causes of things, not the immediate. Or even, some people don't even go to the immediate cause. They study the effect. Please, I know you know how concentrated this knowledge is. If you belong to a group or you have a friend you think you need to share this link to, please share it or on your stories, wherever or status, so that a lot of people can join this session and be part of this massive transformation, right? Is a righteous thing to do, to show your neighbor or even your enemy where he or she needs to get things done, right? So those that rule the world, they study the causes of things. And in studying it, they go deeper to find out why. Masses, we study the effect. Let me give you an example. Do you see that they said that we are now in Gen Z, that what we have now is Gen Z? How many of you have seen that? They said we are in Gen Z, right? We are in Gen Z. You must have seen it. I want to ask you a simple question. Who brought about that nomenclature? Gen Z. How did it come about? And why was it given? Have you ever thought of this? But you see what happened? Majority of the people just ran away and said, yeah, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. They even said that the next one that is coming is Gen Alpha. What does it mean? That means there is a category of people who is responsible for helping the majority of the population to think. They think on behalf of others. Mr. Blockchain said, but in a situation where family background plays roles in one's life, what should we do? I'm coming to that. And part of the things you are doing now is listening to kind of information that is highly unconventional. And I'm sure you know that this type of information we are sharing here is not what you get conventionally. It's rare, right? And just for me, I'll give you an example and we'll proceed. In 2007, that was the first non-academic book I've ever read in my life. I read a book by Bob Gass, and the title of that book was Discovering Your Destiny. And it was in that book that I found out that every man born has a purpose. And I've backed it up scientifically in the beginning by letting us know that we have 23 million miscarriages every year. In 10 years, we are going to have 230 million deaths. You think you don't know what, you know the kind of species that you have? You don't know the stuff you are made of. You don't know the stuff you are made of, bro. You don't know the stuff. Do you know what actually makes slaves? What makes slave? What makes slave? I want to get reactions. Why are they called slave? I need to go to I'm not still done with the principle of precursor. And I still have like 5, 10, oh my God. What makes slaves? Somebody tell me. When they call people slaves, why are they called slaves? What did they deny slaves? Share with me. Crypto gains, say mindset. Okay, that's quite ambiguous in nature. Freedom. Okay. Lack of knowledge and power. Queenette. Annette, sorry. Okay. Captivity. Crypto gains, say knowledge. Freedom of choice and will. They are drained. They are denied freedom. Okay, because can't free themselves. Slaves are slaves because they lack freedom. What is freedom? Freedom. Do you know that there are people that are working that are slaves? That a slave is not just somebody that is confined in a location. There are people that are working on the world, in the whole world, that they are slaves to the world too. Thank you. And some of you that have made some very fantastic. But the number one thing that makes slaves is knowledge. That's why, I don't know who said, he said that an educated man is unfit for slavery. How many of you know that is what is called slave Bible that was doctored by the British colonial masters? That what they were using it to do was to gather the people, like our people that they gathered, and they showed them the Bible, that version of Bible that said, thou shalt be obedient and loyal to your masters, all those things that made them subject to them. That was a slave Bible. Google it, you see that there's something called slave Bible. There was something called slave Bible. So even the knowledge you have, you must put it to test every day. There are people that I know that are even Christians. All they know is what their pastors taught them. They have never made research for themselves. For once. And guess what? Imagine when the slave is the king of the community. That is why I like, it says that the one in power who knoweth not is like a beast that perishes. Slavery has nothing to do with the kind of food you eat or the kind of freedom. No, it's about, do you have a superior knowledge? And that takes me to the second part. There is something that is greater than money in life. It is called power. There's something that is greater than money. Those people you see that are always fighting, not just fighting, working hard when they have amassed plenty money, yet they're still working hard daily. What do you think they are looking for? Money? No. Even if they are looking for money, there is something that is behind that search for money, not the money itself. Not the money itself. That is power. And that's why we have everybody succumbs to power. That's why we have intellectual power, we have financial power, we have all kinds of powers. You succumb to, we have emotional power. In a company, when things are happening, that person that is able to man up emotionally or manage it more emotionally always tends to be ahead of others. You must always exercise your power. And the good thing is that everybody has this power in the right proportion. It's just that there is one that you have not discovered per time. Now, let me conclude this principle of precursor. So when something is happening to you, don't just fold your hands or maybe say, okay, it's going to go out. No, nothing just happens for nothing. There is a precursor. There's something that is foundational to that thing. Where is it coming from? And there's a difference between worry and curiosity. Curiosity, they say, is the mother of invention. Find out why. Why? Everybody that is listening to me, you must always prioritize why over what, how, and when, or whom, or whatever. I posted the other day. Oh, let me not leave that so that it doesn't derail my thought. What is the primary purpose of food? Food. What's the primary purpose of food? That's the back end. Why was food made in the first place? If I'm praying to God, oh my goodness. Do you know that when you are flying from Lagos to London, how many of you know that you cross the Red Sea? You cross the Red Sea. You know that's not miracle to many people. That's not miracle. So let's go back to my question. What's the primary purpose of food? Someone said, Emeka Patrick said, to quench hunger. I need more answers. To quench hunger. Any other one? Okay. Because I have other things to talk about. And this is just 1 hour gone already. Wow. This knowledge is just flowing. Okay. To satisfy the body, to stay alive, body fuel, energy, to give us energy. Okay. So, because we need more than energy to live, the primary purpose of food is simple. It is to nourish the body. Thank you, IJ. That's the primary purpose of food, to nourish the body. The question I want to ask you is that, say the truth. Let us all say the truth here. When you want to eat, what is in your mind? What's the first thing in your mind? Say the truth. Is it because you want to nourish your body? See that what is in our mind is taste. And like somebody said, to quench hunger. Normally, food is not supposed to be for quenching hunger. It's to nourish our body. It's to nourish our body. That's why rich men don't eat too much. They are selective in their eating. Right? As it is. Okay, let's ask this last controversial question before I finish on the principle of precursor. What's the primary purpose of money? Somebody says satisfy and need help or help. Okay, I can see Ekueme or Chidera. Chidera's Chaos. Hey, that name is strong. Okay, don't worry, let's go back to what we have. I don't want to stress us today. I want to share something with us before I go to the next most important thing. Remember, we have done the principle of presupposition. We are now doing the principle of precursor. And if you watch, every single thing I'm sharing almost has pre. That means this thing has been fashioned, authenticated, even before you found about them, right? And a great man once said that there are 2 days in the life of a man. The first day is the day he was born physically, biologically, and the second day is the day he discovers why he was born, right? I'm going to do a couple of things around purpose discovery. So I want to share something that is called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is what separates the rich and the poor. The man in honor that knoweth not is like a beast that perisheth. The man that is in honor but knoweth not is like a beast that perisheth. This is what Maslow's hierarchy of needs does to separate human. The man that is in honor but does not know is like a beast that perishes. A couple of years ago, I read a story that was so mentally stimulating. This man had been paid for a particular voyage that was supposed to last for like 3 to 4 days during the time that they used to travel with sheep, right? And as the man was going on this journey, some of the waiters in that ship came to him and said, "Oh, hello, sir. Would you care for something like this?" He said, no, it doesn't want. Little time again, somebody will come and ask him, "Do you care for something like this?" He said, no, I don't want anything. He had biscuit in his bag, so he was just taking the biscuit small. So I think he got on the third day, they came to him and said, for the past 2 days or 3 days we have been in this journey, you have refused to take anything. What's the problem? And the man just decided to open up and say, I don't really have money. I don't want to order something that I cannot pay for, and that will become a problem for me. And only then did the waiter tell him that actually the person that paid for you, because when you said you don't have money, means somebody probably paid for you for this journey. He said yes. He said the person that paid for you, everything you see people eating here, they were all part of the payment that was made in the initial place. You didn't need to pay any other extra money to enjoy everything we are sharing. The man felt like let the ground open up and swallow him. That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of knowledge. And nobody is coming to save you if you continue to dwell in the realm of ignorance, right? Find knowledge, structured knowledge, not knowledge of speaking good English. No, find structured knowledge. Find how wealthy men behave, what makes them behave the way they behave. What is their target? Just like I remember one time I shared online something around real estate purchasing. They nearly tore me apart, right? One of my village brother just called me and say, hey, brother, I bought a house, I bought a land in this place. I said, okay, how much did you buy the land? He said 1.5 million per plot. Already I know where the land is, and he has gone to the village to announce it that he has bought a land in town. And that my brother is still living in one room safe con. He has not figured out his cash flow. Rich men don't take like that. Rich men understand cash flow. They understand cash flows. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. That's not the content of what we are doing today. Let's go to what I call what is called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is 5 categories of why people are different level. I wish I'm showing you this thing on a slide. You see, you can Google it after. You see that the Maslow hierarchy of need is like this. As it's coming down, is widening. As it's going up, it's getting smaller. It's just like a triangle. At the base, you have many people. And if you want, the first need that human beings need is physiological needs, right? That is the need for food, the need for water, for warmth, for rest, for shelter. That's what people need. They need money to buy food, they need shelter. Is it not very, very disturbing that a lot of people go through this life and they stop in the first part? They get a house, they are so satisfied. They can eat, they are so satisfied. Like, what kind of life is that? Kai. They just buy clothes, they feel like they have achieved something. They bought a new shoe, they just feel like, oh my God, like, oh my God, have mercy on our ignorance. Kai. And you not tell me that it's God that is making that person not to succeed. Because let's stop this. I know saying, assuming God has somebody that he can complain to about some of our accusations or disturbance. I know say one day God will go meet person and say, these people, what they are doing, I don't like it. They are disturbing me too much. They are accusing me too much. Look at this one now that has been praying for car for the past 10 years. He doesn't want to go and learn how to do his business properly. So he doesn't know how to do marketing and sales. He doesn't know how to do strategic branding and positioning. He's praying here and crying for me every day. Have I ever given somebody customer before? You people should ask me now. Have I ever said, oh yeah, customer, go and buy this thing? If God really, God will be complaining on people's behalf almost every day if he had somebody he was going to go and talk to. Right? God will be complaining. Number 2, as you go further, the second hierarchy, aside from physiological need, is safety need. Right? You have security, stability, just safety, just to make sure you are in a place where nothing is happening. That's what you mean. Then the third one is love and belonging needs, emotional needs, right? Friendship, family, intimacy, those sense of connection with people. That's at the third level. I want to go to the fourth and the fifth level because that's where I belong to, right? And that's where makes the top 1%, right? And that is why anybody that targets the fourth and the fifth level ends up passing through the first, second, and third level. So the fourth level is esteem need. This is where the game begins to change, right? Because at this level, what people want is respect, self-esteem. They want status, they want recognition, they want strength, and they want freedom, ability to do their thing at their own time. They want what they are doing produces great results. People are able to respect them. People are able to love them, right? They want to be recognized in the society. They are those kind of people that when they step into the meeting, no matter how long the meeting has gone, somebody has to recognize them. That's the top 1%. That's status. That's recognition, right? That's self-esteem. That's strength in the community. You are just there, right? There are people that they must always postpone the meeting for. It's not about their physical look. If you look at this governor of Abia State, can you see how short that man is? He's not even a fine man, physically speaking. He's not fine. But he has changed the game of governance, and everywhere he goes, what happened? There's self-esteem. He carries himself with so much respect, and people just respect him everywhere. Did he get there? Do you know how many times he contested? Do you know how many times he had drafted the plan, his master plan for the state? This level, the 4th level and the 5th level, they are not for everybody. But that's why I want it to be for you, because you are listening to me today. And the 5th level is self-actualization. At this level, it's legacy that matters to you. It's legacy. It's no longer money. I mean, I know that some of you heard when Elon Musk said that money does not buy happiness. Some people even got angry because he has gotten to the peak of that. Or he's no longer looking for physiological safety or love. His own medicine is self-esteem, that level of esteem need, and then self-actualization. So here, at the last part is about reaching your full potential. When people want to die empty, they have impacted thousands and millions and even billions across the world. There, and we are living in a dispensation that global impact has been democratized. You cannot live all your life listening to others. Somebody must listen to you. All this thing determines when you enter into business, and some people that are pursuing money, they get to, because if you pursue money, you easily get climaxed. Pursue power. Everybody pursue power. Power is the most expensive thing in the world. Everybody bends to this kind of power. Is either the power you have through emotional mastery, through intellectual mastery, through leadership mastery, through self-mastery, through religious mastery, through whatever it is, you must be a power man in a particular way. You must be a power man. You must be a power man. And everything I'm sharing is not gender sensitive. Even in the place of work, you must be able to showcase your power, intellectualism, relationship capital and capability. Don't always pursue money. That's the basic thing that everybody needs. That's the lowest part of this thing. Step ahead, because money is simply a reward for value. There's nobody that creates and distributes value that doesn't make money. It's just a matter of time. There's nobody that is rich and is a distributor of value. It's not possible. A creator and distributor. I no follow you drag your governor again. You don't do. She's a handsome man. I agree. All right, so I've dealt with the principle of presupposition and the principle of precursor. Now let's go to the mirror effect and purpose discovery. I don't know, are you guys getting some value for this session tonight? Please indicate if you're getting enough value. Even my team, they are just shouting inside our room. Yes, because they are supposed to be the first beneficiaries. Are you getting value from this session? Okay. Seek power, yes, because power controls resources. Fantastic, yes. Power controls almost everything you can think of. Power controls it. All right. I just wanted to be sure before we proceed and let's go and get some deep dive again. The mirror effect. Even though we are not born poor, poverty has been shown to us for a long period of time that Unfortunately, it became our identity. Though that was not the engine with which we were built. This is where it gets interesting, because even though I am born wealthy, even though my son is born wealthy, Elon Musk's son has better economic leverage than my son, because his father has built access for him. Though not saying that because his father built access for him, he must become successful. No. But conventionally speaking, they are no longer operating at the same frequency. So there is this misnomer that happens that though I had this in me, and it's only few that ends up discovering, though I have this in me, but the prevailing circumstances has continuously fed me with ideas, with statistics. When you read on the news that over 137 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, that is almost 60% of the Nigeria's population. They are multidimensionally poor. When you read on the news that Nigeria is the poverty capital of Africa and even the world, when you read on the news that Africa can never develop, when you want to go from Nigeria to Lusaka, Zambia, and you know you have to go to Ethiopia first and transit, and then spend extra 4 to 6 hours before you proceed. When it is easier for you to move from Africa to Europe than moving from Africa to fellow African countries. When the colonial masters has designed it in a way and fed you with third-party information that made all of us think that we are less of a human being. There is a tendency that you begin to acknowledge it and accept it as your reality. It's the pain of our dispensation. It's the pain of our dispensation. That what was not there, because it has been fed into our ears and into our eyes, will begin to take it. Because it's difficult to study the manuals of life. Because even as an African, the informations you get across to, they are mostly third party. Our people, our counterparts in Europe and America started earning from social media long ago. It was just July last year, if I'm not mistaken, that Nigeria, for instance, was given the access to earn. And even if you're a Nigerian or an African and you hit 3 million views on any of the Meta platforms, or even on TikTok or wherever, you're likely to earn peanuts compared to what your fellow European or American counterpart is earning. We are from a part of the world where the information, the knowledge that we have is third-party information. This is the part of the world where there are some sites you cannot enter because of your location unless you maneuver it through VPNs. And because of this myriad discomfort, because of this, you have looked across your background. Who did you see that modeled riches? Who is your model for riches? And subtly inside of your mind, you have started fanning a particular image that is contrary to the original identity. And there is a proverb in my place, in the Igbo, that Arala Abafo, I will translate it, Arala Abafo Yahoro Menala, which means that when an evil has lasted for a period of 1 year, It becomes a culture. It becomes a culture. So our natural proclivity has suddenly become our circumstances instead of our identity. This is where the fight begins. A couple of years ago, I was writing a book, and the title of that book is The Power of Name. And I wasn't even talking about whether when you answer success, that's what determines whether you'll be successful or not. No, there is always a name that we call ourselves that nobody knows. Is our mirror image. There's always a name we call ourselves. Sometimes in our inner chambers, we call ourselves poor people. Sometimes our inner chamber, we call ourselves failed people. Some of you, if you're a lady, you probably had committed an abortion many years ago. When you remember that and you feel like killing yourself. But that was a circumstance and never your identity. You must learn to not mistake your circumstance to be your identity. Part time, this is the greatest fight of life as an African. This is your greatest battle. Never ever associate your circumstance. Never equate your circumstance to be your identity. Because many of the times, things has happened in your life. You've tried to do it, it's not working. You are 34, it looks like it's not working. What is this man saying? What manner of identity do I have? I graduated from school, third class. I've been looking for a job for the past 10 years. It's not working. That's why your energy as an African must be 10 times that of your fellow European or American counterpart. Because what is fighting against is not the same thing what you are fighting against. The greatest battle you have to fight in your life is the battle to retain the right identity. It's the battle to retain the right identity. No matter, for those of us that are Christian again, the Bible said that the things we see, say by faith, we know that the things that we see, they were made from the things that, it said the things that appear are made from the things that do not appear. The things that we see, they're actually made from the things that the eyes cannot see. There are two realities, and I think I spoke somewhere where I was teaching them on maximizing resources. And I mentioned two resources that we have. The first category is intangible resources. The second category is tangible resources. And one of those intangible resources that we cannot see is time. Because whether you like it or not, you have to be aggressive, because the forces in your environment, they are designed to help you make your circumstances to become your new identity. Because it's only still few that even get to find out about the identity in the first place. Yet there are circumstances every day that are feeding you with statistics that makes our brain go redundant every day. You can't do it. Who in your family has made it? This one you are calling yourself a billionaire. Look at your community. Who is a billionaire there? Look at your state. I just made a post through a research that there are only 4,000 billionaires in documented 4,000 billionaires in Lagos, a population of 18 to 20 million. That's less than 1% of the population who are billionaires in dollars. Sorry, millionaires in dollars. So the statistics is not favorable. This is why it's still only few that will end up getting to the top. Because every single time you want to try, you are fed with an information that wants to diminish your power. Like some of you may be saying one time that, okay, this thing is going to work for me. And one of the battles you are going to battle this night is that you don't even have money to eat your dinner. And that circumstance is competing, fighting with your real identity to redefine you and give you a new identity. And immediately you get and go and use that thing, it's gone. Like Yoruba people will say, Otilo. It's finished. So the question I have for you tonight is, what image of yourself do you hold very dear? When nobody is there, what do you call yourself? What is in your mind? When you are passing through that pain, what image do you have of yourself? Let me share a message someone sent to me. It was my colleague in school. And so, please, if you are here too, you have not subscribed to this channel, I think that's a sin, right? I think that's a sin. Let me share the message one of my schoolmates shared with me. He said, because I posted one thing, he now told me, he said, oh, this message has gone. I wish I could get it. He said, but I highlighted it. He said, I just remembered how you would do lots of positive confessing. You were always excited for the future. Those words you used to use were global standard. This were years ago when I found the identity. Do you know that my nickname in college was Rich and Righteous? Rich and Righteous. And at the point, I started answering Mr. Impeccable. I was answering names that were matching. These things were not because of just confession. No, it was born out of a particular identity. I can't be poor. It's not possible. It's not. Oh my God. Like, I think I'm a little bit gentler now. Like, I'll be more gentle. If there's anything like that, I feel like if I do say these things now, they will say, okay, you have made money, or maybe it will not look like pride. I think I was more arrogant about my future when I had nothing. I was more arrogant about my future when I had nothing, right? 2 days ago, I was showing someone, I said, I just contacted one of my friends in UK who is into car dealership. I said, bro, I think I want this car. He told me how much the car costs. I just came and wrote it somewhere. So I was sharing it with one of the guy was like, you want to buy a car? And this is the car you are looking at. Can't you do it? I said, calm down. These things don't work like that. Identity. Let me share one story with you. A couple of years ago, I rented an apartment. And when I came there to clean the apartment. So one of those days, even I finished cleaning it and then I moved in. The first day I moved in, the other guy, because that was a 3-bedroom apartment, there was another 2-bedroom, no, 1-room safe corner or so, that someone was living in. The guy now came out and met me and said, bros, I say, are you married? I said, no. He said, do you have children? I said, no. He said, why did you not go and rent this 3-bedroom apartment? I said, do you know that this 3-bedroom apartment, how much did you pay? I said, 500,000. I said, do you know that this 3-bedroom apartment, about 2 years or 3 years ago, this apartment was for, I think 200,000. The landlord just increased it to 500,000. Do you know in the next 1 year or 2 years, he's going to increase it to 800 or even 1 million? You say, why did you not rent this place? My brothers and sisters, to be frank with you, that day I felt bad. I felt like, oh God, like, it looks like I've done a very terrible mistake. Oh. I go put my hand where my hand no reach. What if they now increase this thing? So while I got inside the house that day and I stayed, and I was just thinking, it was just like 5 minutes or so. I just had a thought inside of my mind. And it was just a question I asked myself, say, are you bothered because they said they were going to increase this rent? Yes. And who said that your income will remain at the same level? You see, identity is important. Kai, like, it's the most important thing you can ever figure out on earth. That's why when you know your identity, you don't get easily irritated because you know who you are. You know, some that they say this thing based on who I be. You get some things where I know if you do. So when you have that identity, that internal voice of who you are, the main image of yourself inside will always speak to counter even the voices that are coming. Now, there are 4 things that gives you that source, that provides raw materials, resources for your mirror image. Number 1 is your environment. If you have the opportunity to be independent, sometimes leave your environment. I can't say this enough. There are some environment that, I kid you not, if you listen to me imagine listening to me once per quarter, and that environment, you interact with it every single day, and there is nothing in that environment that posts something about the future you are going to. You have to leave it. Your experiences, education, mentors, and exposure. Please get a mentor, right? Even if it's not a mentor that you are going to call and say, mentor me, but look for somebody you can be studying from afar. Whatever he does, you take note of it. That's very important, right? Give yourself some level of exposure. I want to go to some other things that are very important. And then I'll close this mirror effect or mirror image effect with this principle I want to illustrate. That's what is called phototropism and geotropism, right? The concept of phototropism and geotropism. And geotropism is also regarded as, I want to give you an illustration on a paper. Geotropism is also referred to as gravitotropism. So this is a plant, right? Forgive me, I'm not such a good artist, but I know that I made a C in my drawing those days. All right, so this is a plant, right? I'm sure some of you can see it. This is a plant. If you watch this plant I drew here, this is like the earth's surface, right? Which means that these ones went into the ground. And this one came up. That means a plant grows in 2 directions. Opposite the light, towards the light, right? Light pushes this one down. This one follows light, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, all we see is this one here, the shining part. Like when you see me now, you say, oh, the sales guru, fine man, you're doing well for yourself, you're traveling, you're doing this, you're making money, blah, blah, blah. All we see most times is this one. But do you know that the strength of this guy is dependent on how far this guy goes down the soil? And this is the most difficult growth that can ever be. Right? So most times those things that are pressing you down, that looks like they are, what is it called? Anti-destiny fulfillment stuff. They are actually helping you to gain stability, so that when you finally move, the winds cannot easily break you. So in your growth, you must grow downwards first before you grow upwards. And it is your strength of the downwards that will take you upwards. That's why if you give everybody 1 million naira today, what happens? I always say that scatter this world now and let everybody come back again and give everybody $1 million. It's just in the next 5 years, we'll go back to how we used to be. It's as simple as that. All right, I have 3 more principles to share with you. The next one is the principle of specialization. I don't know. I know we are getting value here today. I think I'm sharing some incredible value, right? I think so. I think what we are sharing is not common at all. It's not common. The principle of specialization. Think of any wealthy person that operates at that 1% realm. You can always attach them with doing one thing, not plenty things. They learned how to do one thing over and over and over and over and over until they became unstoppable specialists in it. That's why I say one of the reasons why a lot of Africans will die poor is because of what I call multiple streams of income. It's an illusion. It's an elusive mindset. You get 2 million, you're looking for next thing you are going to do to make another money. You're just hustling all the days of your life and never built anything. And at the end of the day, you are wasted. I share you a story. Many years ago, I used to be in my elder brother's house. I lived with him. I just graduated from college. I was living in his lab. He's a medical doctor, consultant. So those times, I was teaching in a school, right? I will wake up in the morning. I will go to school, right? And I always go to school around 7:30, end up close school by maybe 4 or 5. And I will always go out again, maybe for private lessons and coachings and stuff like that. Before I could come back, is always maybe around 8 p.m. or sometimes 7:30 or 9 p.m. Before I could finish bathing and maybe having my dinner, it's almost 10 o'clock. And I end up maybe doing one or two things and sleeping again by maybe 11 or to 12 and wake up by 6 o'clock so that I can get, or 5:30 so that I can get to school or by 7:30. But this my brother, who was a consultant at that time, before I go to school in the morning, he's at home, he's sleeping, right? And he ends up going to the hospital where he consults. I think he was consulting in that hospital for 3 times in a week. And he comes back around 4 p.m. So he's at home before I leave, and he's at home when I've come back. And I knew that I was living in his house. I was eating food from his money. I was under his shelter. When I started thinking that the money I'm making here is too small compared to what this my brother is making. And if you check it, I felt like I was working harder than him. Because I work from almost 7 to 7 daily. That's 12 hours. And this my brother does barely 8 hours every day. 5 hours, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes. I just felt like, God, why are you just so unfair? I'm working harder than this guy. Why is he earning more than me? Then I found out the real reality that never left me, that left me transformed for the rest of my life, is that over the years, this guy has invested a lot of time, resources, energy in one thing until he's now a consultant. So he's no longer paid according to the time that he puts into the work. He's now paid according to the work that he puts into the time. A very word of difference. You get to a level in your life that you are paid to instruct others to do the job. Others are doing the job, but your job now is to instruct others to do the job. And whoever does the instructing always earns higher. My life changed completely. I told myself that no. I'm going to work on myself till it gets to a point where I can be paid $1 million to come and speak at event. Because the same thing you are doing, some people are doing it and getting more money. And it's not as if they are more intelligent or more connected or something than you. No, but they have learned how to do one thing over and over and over and over again until they become an authority in that industry. And when you are an authority, you are now paid according to your name and not necessarily what you do. Get this. This is the philosophy of the 1%. What is it? There are only two things I say you should not do. And I was sharing with one of my mentees yesterday. That thing you know that if you are there, it's not scalable. The business is not scalable. Don't do it for a long term, right? Or that industry you think that it's not where you want to function in. Don't do it for a long term. But if you're in an industry you think that this industry has a future, there are people do brand benchmarking. It's not part of the things I was supposed to share here, right? There are people that you you have seen the life they are living in that industry, something that if you leave it, you tell me successful, and there is a proven pathway that you can get there. Ladies and gentlemen, stick to it. Learn the ability not to be distracted, the ability to be focused. Focused in a thing. And the minimum time you need to gain mastery in an industry or in a craft is 10 years. Practice it 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. There are senior devs. Their own is to call the junior dev to do the job and they make the money. When my brother goes to the hospital, what he does is just does ward round, check some people and call these junior doctors. Hey, do this. Hey, do this. Nurse, do this. And he goes and he makes a lot of money. It's because over the years he has paid the price. Will you pay the price of specializing in a thing for a long time? You are not going to die. You will make you become stop this hustling and bustling and this one come to me. They say this one is crypto, you buy it. This one is that you do it. This one you put money. You will never be rich like that because diversification does not occur, does not start at the bottom. It is wealthy people that diversify. Investment is meant for those who are already successful, not people who have zero income. Some of you have got. Let me keep quiet. That's why it is those who are very patient in the investment platform that ends up earning the money for those who are impatient. It's the impatient that always sell. Right? So I got some dollars from someone. Why am I sharing this? I was sharing with my wife today. I said, that dollar, since I bought it, it looks like I've lost some money out of it. Though. Shouldn't I have gone to even change it and just convert it back to Naira? I was like, okay, maybe just leave it. I heard that election is coming next year, and I think when election comes, there's likely to be dollar scarcity or stuff like that. What if I don't have money now? I'll just go and spend it. So you see, I'm likely to make more money on it because I'm patient. And the only reason why I'm patient is because I still have cash flow. Think, guys, like these things are not rocket science, but I know the distractions in the society will not allow you to focus. Will not allow you to focus. Don't be trying thousands of things per time. If you regret this counsel from TSG, oh, I don't know the word to say. Have you done your 10 years? That's what it takes to gain mastery. So you must understand the principle of specialization. Do you want to be a product engineer? Do you want to be a software developer? Do you want to be a sales and marketing guru like me? Do you want to be a world-class baker? Do you want to be an international AI prompt engineer? Do you want to be a world-class digital marketing strategist? Do you want to be a world-class real estate consultant? Is 10 years of burial. Now, let me give you an example. There's difference between burial and planting. Sometimes, have you heard somebody say, bury yourself in something? Bury, what does it mean? Is that when people even make the mistake of seeing you, all they see is that thing you are doing, not necessarily any other thing. Sometimes people will think that you are buried, but you're actually planted. And for you to germinate something greater than you are, you must plant. You must be planted. The Bible says, except a corn is planted and is dead, it cannot yield forth fruit. So sometimes people will misunderstand you. They will say, what is your own? They will call you broke. Oh boy, I just cash out $5,000. So just they say they do nonsense. Before you know, they will buy GLK. And you will feel like it's human for you to feel that way. Oh, am I wasting my life? What is this thing I'm doing? It's human. But there's what is called compound interest. When you learn to specialize, the money you lose in the 9 years, you can earn all of them cumulatively in the 10th year. I tell you, I kid you not. And funny enough, we are in the years where you may not even need up to 10 years to specialize. It's just the stretched time of it. You don't even need up to 10 years to prove yourself. It's just a stretched time of it. So real money occurs at the higher echelon of every industry. Real big money occurs at the higher echelon of every industry. What I charge today is not what I was charging 2 years or 3 years or 4 years ago. No. I've been growing consistently. I'll get to a level where if you call me to come and speak for 30 minutes or 1 hour, I'll charge you 20 million. And why do I know? I know people that are already charging far more than that. And that's why even if you do crypto today and you earn $50,000 and you build one, it doesn't move me. I kid you not. I'm telling you life. I have found this thing to do, and I will do it for life, and I will get to the topmost top of it. Grow, specialize, grow, specialize, grow, specialize, grow, specialize, grow. There are times that it's no longer what you do that will give you money. It's your name. It's your name. It's your name. How can you get that name if you keep trying plenty things at the time? That's why there are people that all they have is money, nothing else. Remember what I've shared today. The principle of presupposition, the principle of precursor, the mirror effect and purpose discovery, and now the principle of what? Specialization. I'm sure you are getting a lot of effect. Let's go deeper because we are closing. Just have like less than 20 minutes to close this session. I don't know who is the wealthy person you can think of. See, Ronaldo is paid that amount of money to kick the football. Oprah Winfrey is paid that heavily amount to host the program. Like who? Tony Lumelu. I know some of you say, hey, he has Health Holdings, he has a Transcorp Hilton, he has UBA, he has a Health Energy, he has Transcorp Power, he has Health Insurance. Did he start all of them when he was like you? You just have 5 million, you want to start another business. 10 million just enter the account. You want to start a branch of waiting, they worry you. Seriously, you need to ask that question. Let's go to the second to the last thing we want to look at today. And I call it spiritual inclination. Every man is under authority. Every man. The authority could be Christ. Please listen to me. This place is very, very sensitive and important. The authority could be Christ. The authority could be Muhammad. The authority could be Shango or Amadioha or whatever. But every man is influenced by an authority that is higher than that person, right? I studied environmental geology and I understand geological processes. And one of the rules we have in the environmental geology is that the earth abhors vacuum. That means it is not possible for the earth to have vacuum per time. Right? That's why if you take a shovel and go outside of your untarred road and dig that shovel into the soil and excavate the soil, give it just one rainfall, it will notice that there is a slope that has been created on the earth. Get something somewhere and fill it. So nobody is vacuum part time. Everybody is possessed by something. Some people that are possessed by money, some people that are possessed by sex. That's why a man can travel from Kanu to Abia State just to come and sleep with a woman. Immediately he finished sleeping with a woman, his eyes will clear. Everybody is possessed by something part time. Everybody, quote me anyway, everybody is under a particular influence part time. I don't know how many of you, 2015, Mark Zuckerberg revealed something that looked like one of his most kept secret, and that was the first and only place he ever said it. Starting Facebook at that time, he got to a point where he almost gave up. He almost gave up because things were not necessarily working well for him. He wanted to sell off Facebook. So he said, okay, before he would sell it, let him go and talk to his mentor. That's why I advise everybody should have a mentor, whether in business or life, depending. Someone you can talk to part time to clear your head. Right? Somebody that has the kind of result you are looking for. So he went to talk to the Apple CEO, Steve Jobs of blessed memory, right? I said, look at the problem I'm passing through. How do I get this thing done? I want to sell off this company. And Steve could not just give him any solution. Steve told him, okay, I was once in your shoe. There was a time I was feeling this thing. There's a temple in India. Go there. Spend 1 month and pray, or go there and pray and connect your business to purpose. And Mark went there and spent 30 days at that temple. And when he came back, because Steve told him that he too went to that same temple when he was having the challenges, and he came out with his own solutions. And Mark went to that same temple, spent like 30 days, and came back. And Facebook took a new dimension. Right? So everybody is subject to a spiritual influence per time. It doesn't matter whether the person acknowledges it or not. He's there. Right? Now, what you need to understand is that this kingdom, this spiritual influence, they are categorized into different kingdoms. And the kingdom you operate with determines your code of operation. There are codes of operation. Right? There are codes of operation. So, for instance, the devil, sin is his nature. What kind of sin can you think about? Fornication, adultery, what is again, murder, whatever, lying, pride, backbiting, and all the things, evil things you can think of that looks like a sin for you and I that are ethical and moral in nature. That is the nature of the devil. That means if sin is the nature of the devil, sin is righteousness for the devil. Listen, it's getting a little bit deeper. Sin to me and you is righteousness to the devil. because the nature of the devil is sin. The Bible says, I think it's in Romans 10 verse 10, it says, the enemy comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Three things: to kill, to steal, and to destroy. So one of the things the devil wants to do all the time is to make you not get in contact with the kind of knowledge that can transform you. That's stealing. So when we say the devil comes to steal, sometimes we think he's coming to steal our physical belongings. That's balderdash. If you read the scripture, I think it's in the book of Ephesians chapter 6 from verse 12 downward. It says the weapon of our warfare, they are not carnal. He said they are mighty to the pulling down of strongholds. And where are those strongholds? In our mind. So everything that looks evil in the eyes of a godly or good man is righteousness to the devil. And everything that looks good, what was I say? Sorry, I repeat that again. Everything that looks bad, very negative in nature, to man, to you and I, moral people, they are actually righteousness to the devil. And everything that looks good in our eyes, helping one another, being good, building a safe place, and all the rest, they are actually unrighteousness to the devil. It's an inverted equation. Your righteousness is devil's unrighteousness. Devil's unrighteousness is our righteousness. Get me? Listen to me. Why am I sharing this? Because sometimes some people say, Elon Musk says he's an alien. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? And this one say he doesn't believe in Christ. Yes, he's one of the richest people in the world. What are you telling me? That he said the question you should have asked is that if he said he doesn't believe in whatever, in Christ or whatever, or in Imam, what does he believe in? Because he definitely believes in something. He definitely, thank you so much, John 10:10. The thief cometh to kill, to destroy, but I'm come to give you life. So if he says he doesn't believe in Christ or he doesn't believe in God, what does he believe in? There is something, I can tell you categorically, there is something he believes in. When you see how majority of the top 1% that you envy, how they go annually to renew their covenant and their vows, you will marvel. How many of you saw the Epson file that was released? I don't want to say plenty things here so that I don't get banned. So now, both in the positive and the negative world, there are hierarchies in the spirit. Why am I sharing this? Because it's important for you to know that it's not good people that succeed, it's spiritual people. It's principled people. There are two people, my brother told me this one time, that there are two categories of people that rule in the world. The first one are wicked people. The second one are wise people. So you have to be wise if you are not wicked. So for instance, in the kingdom of the other kingdom that we don't belong to, let me give you an example. The biggest pastor we have in Nigeria is Pastor Adeboye, right? Imagine if a lady succeeds in seducing him sexually. See, the lady, get this thing. That lady that seduced him and brought him down in ministry, the hierarchy of that person in that other kingdom is different from a lady that seduces me and brings me down. It's a different level of operation completely. So, normally when we're talking in the beginning, some people say, it's a both combination of God and man. What you need to do as a man is that you must always go back to the place of the Spirit, not to ask God to do anything for you, but to understand the code of operation. That's why anybody that has found a way of opening the portals in the realm of the Spirit does one thing. He goes there for inquiries, to connect the soul of a man to the Spirit. Because when people die, what leaves them? Have you ever thought of that? In fact, this became blatantly clear to me when I lost my mom. I was just seeing her on that hospital bed after she was dead, and she was just there, body complete, teeth, she was smiling, everything was complete, but she's gone. What left her? That's why the highest level of knowledge is revelational knowledge, because man has a spirit, and you have to always find a way to activate it. A lot of people today are depressed, and I always say that they believe they can never solve it. See these people they call, what do they call them? Therapist. No, that's borderdash. Sorry, I'm not. Forgive me. But you see that the more therapists multiply, the more people are mentally redundant. Crazy. That's why depression is at the highest level in our dispensation ever since the history of the world. Why? Because people are gradually, they have designed the internet, the Facebook, is taking us away from our core soul, our core nature. We spend so much time feeding our eyes without any time finding out our inside out. We are not taking outside inside without spending time from inside outside. That's why for you to go far, you have to be spiritual. It doesn't matter the dimension you are there. In any kingdom you belong to, you must learn and appreciate that you have to be scaling the height. Otherwise, you will be taken away. It's not the top 1% does not just function on principle, it functions on power. Functions on power. What are you sacrificing? The big question. So you cannot be neutral. It's not possible. That's why Proverbs chapter 18 verse 1, one of my favorite scriptures of life, it says, through desire, a man separates himself and intermediate with the affairs of life. And I call it the concept of isolation. Concept of isolation. If you check the 2026 blueprint I hosted in December on my YouTube channel, it's there. The concept of isolation. One, you must learn to withdraw yourself from every form of distraction per time to interact with your spirit. That's where energy comes from. A lot of energy is generated there. Even the people that are traditional worshippers, the sacrifice that is performed by the blood of a fowl cannot have the same efficacy with the sacrifice that is performed by the blood of a newborn baby or by the blood of a virgin. These things are real. Don't be caught unawares. So at the top 1%, you are going to experience power tussle. And you don't wait till you get there before you build the muscles to survive the tussle. Oh, I just spoke like a motivational speaker now. But these things are very important. When you understand this thing, you don't go, if you are praying to your God, you don't go to your God and start asking for car and how. That's an insult to the God, because the only thing God interacts with is the spirit of the person who is coming to him. So be spiritual, irrespective of the God you are serving. And the last thing, I talked about spiritual inclination. The last thing on this page is what I call current attenuation. Because in the realm of the spirit, there are frequencies of discharge. There are frequencies of discharge. Right? So if you are not at the right frequency, you're going to lose a lot of discharge that is coming to you. So remember I said that for somebody that is a traditional worshiper now, that is an evil man, evil is an act of righteousness to him. The day he begins to do good, the spirit that he's serving will summon him. If possible, they will eliminate him because he's now a terror to them. Why? Because he's doing good. Why? Because their code of operation is evil. So in their kingdom, evil is an act of righteousness. So if you are in that kingdom, one thing that will sustain your righteousness is wickedness. You must be very wicked. So if you are in the ecosystem of those that do evil, they will use elections and plant it and kill people so that the blood will work. As they keep doing that, they gain rank in their realm of the spirit. They can cause accidents. They can do one thing or the other. They will just cause commotion in the world. Somebody manufactured COVID-19. Somebody is doing an experiment that wants to control the neural center of a human through chip. That is high-level wickedness. And for you to operate at that level, you need, that is the form of righteousness in their kingdom. The day he begins to think for good of man, he's either going to lose his life or he will become weakened. He cannot climb that height again. For you that is in the ethical and moral right of spiritual inclination, sin becomes the opposite. When you go and sleep with another man's wife, your current is attenuated. In physics, we call it doping. Something that is already, what's the name of this thing again? I can't remember. Something that allows current to pass through it. When you put impurities around it, the current flow reduces. And that's doping. We call it current attenuation. Conductor, thank you. So in this kingdom that you belong to, make sure you are not spiritually docile. It's important. Because there are some knowledge you will never have access to on books, or no matter how you read or whatever, until you learn to find a way to bring out what is in your spirit, man. Every man has it. That's how God made man. Every man has it. So stay hyper and pure in any industry, in any realm, inclination of the spirit that you belong to. Right? It's very important. Very, very important. Now, as a closing remark, before I get to the last thing I want to share, I think we have done incredible things today, right? Woo! This is 2 hours, 8 minutes. I knew that tonight was going to be heavy anyways. If you have gained something, please, let me see your comment. Let me see your comment. If you gained value tonight, let me see your comment. Let me see your comment. Let me see your comment, man. Okay, thank you. I love it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm sure you are hearing me. All right, so finally, majority of you know, especially those of you that are business owners, that I do a 30 days boot camp for Thank you, success. Doping is the adding of impurities to alter a semiconductor property. Thank you. I got it. Thank you. Yeah. My sales associate says the Africanness in me is being diagnosed. Fantastic. That's all I wanted to do tonight, and I think I achieved it greatly. So I host business owners or salespeople or marketing professionals to a 30 days boot camp, right? And that 30 days, I'll be with you, coaching you every Sunday live like this from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You'll be part of our community. You have access to my ebook for free. At the end of it, you get a certification. You have a sales target that is given unto you. And everything, you get it, right? For the last 2 years, this boot camp has been able to help business owners do over $4 million documented sales by the grace of God. So the next batch is starting on 5th of July and will last for 30 days. Today, the price we are selling is 45,000. But today, anybody that wants to pay between now and 12 a.m. will give it to you at the price of 40,000 naira. Thomas, I don't know if you're in the call. Please drop the account details, and Precious, drop the account details so that people that want to be part of it can be part of it. However, you can send me a WhatsApp message on this number, and I think between this night and tomorrow, I will personally respond to people by myself. So this is the WhatsApp number 07057177404, right? If you send me a WhatsApp message on that number, I'll respond to you personally. However, I don't know if Thomas is in the call. Please, Thomas or Precious, if you're in the call, post the account details so that I can pin it to the comment. So Mardina said today is his first day of watching live. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. So now I'm going to take few questions. If you have any question, drop it. Knowledge is powerful. Yes, I'll soon become a world-class real estate consultant. Fantastic. So if you have any question, drop it before I share the last 10, and then we'll call it a night. But I want to take one or two. Please call the number again. 07057177404. Right? Send me a WhatsApp message and I'll help you secure your slot. 07057177404. So if you send me a WhatsApp message, I'll help you secure your slot. Thomas, if you're around, please share the account details so that I can, what is it called? I can give it to others. 1 minute, guys. Whew. I think I'm doing we did a fantastic job today, man. Hi. My God. Yes, of course. As long as you're a business owner and you are interested in closing more sales. Yes, of course. Whether you are, it doesn't matter the business you're, as long as you are ready for sales, to increase your sales. Because our target is that we want to help you to increase your sales by 500% in 30 days. And some people have even done 200%, 1000%, 2000%. So it's crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long night, and I'm sure that thank you. I think I have some alumni here. Proud Joe is an alumni. Yes, he was in OSB 8.0, and the Zambian guy was in, I think, 10.0. The next one that is starting is 3.0. Let me see if I can pin a message for you on behalf. Oh, hold on. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, I'll send him. Precious has sent it. Okay, I've pinned the account details on the comment, so you can see it now. Precious have sent. So you can send in your 40K. Send me the receipt on that number I called you. And yeah, you can see it says beyond selling is becoming TSG. Thank you, Proud Joe. Okay, let me take a few questions. Thank you, sir, for this insightful teaching. Please, how do you know your area of existence? How do you know that your area of existence is scalable? There are three things that there are three things that guarantee scalability in a business or in any industry. Number one is you have a large market, right? There's a large market. Number two is that you can understand your distribution. And number three is what's number three again? Number three again is an infusion of technology. Right? Maybe you can chat on that number. Some of these things I can help you break it down for you, as the case may be. Do I have another question? Any other question? All right, guys. I want you to close this chat. I want to close this night. Drop plenty emojis on the chat box, as many as you can. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do it right away. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do it right away now before you leave this platform. I've given you guys over 2 hours of intense value, right? At zero cost, right? Except for those that want to. Remember, the 40K closes this night by 12 this night, right? After this night, it goes back to 45,000. So, and I think we just need, I don't know how many persons that are remaining to complete it. So, if you make your payment this night to secure your slot, you can send me that number. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas has posted it, Precious posted, and I pinned it on this comment. So I want you to give me enough emoji. Can I see it? I want enough emoji. Enough. Enough emoji. That's what I want us to close this session with. Thank you. Loss of value. Joining from Russia. Oh, Amechi Augustine. Nice to have you. Welcome from Russia. Your cup will refilled 1,000 times over. Amen. Is this live going to be posted here for rewatch? Yes, we're going to post it in our community. Aside from the community, the team will also share it through emails, right? As a student, how can I find or know my area of specialization? What are your experiences like? Practice the concept of isolation. What are experiences like so far? What do you like doing? What do you do naturally? Right? Those are so important stuff that you need to look into. So if you make the transfer, please send me the receipt on that number I called again. And that will be all for today. I'm not getting plenty emoji. Only Uzoma has given me emoji and Shop Jenny Closet. I've gained value. Thank you, goodness. I want many emoji. We are still like 53 people left here. Let me have, it's my first time and I'm Joseph from Aba. I appreciate your effort. Thank you. Please answer my question before you end the call. I think I've answered you. This is massive, sir. Thank you, Ambassador from Port Harcourt. Thank you. Catch some of you. Let's get more business going and more sales at Online Sales Bootcamp starting from July 3rd. I love you all and have a fantastic. So this is what I think our next masterclass will be in September, right? Because we'll do it once every quarter. Our next masterclass will be in September, right? And you know, this type of information, we don't share it in the public, right? It has to be for our own community. And in case you're not on our Telegram community, because it's always easier for us to post there, please try to subscribe, get the link. I think the team will also send it to those of you that join through emails. And have a fantastic night. It's more than 2 hours, 18 minutes. So almost 2 hours, 20 minutes. So good night, everyone. I love you guys and have fantastic night rest. We can go and watch World Cup now, right?